Some explosive reporting from The Atlantic, wherein several prominent members of the Trump administration, including Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio, and John Ratcliffe, were discussing war plans over the messenger app Signal and accidentally invited the editor of The Atlantic into the group chat. Really big day for the butter emails crowd to show us whether they actually care about that kind of stuff or not. I mean, take a look at this headline and subhead. The Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans. U.S. national security leaders included me in a group chat about upcoming military strikes in Yemen. I didn't think it could be real. Then the bombs started falling. And obviously, the fallout has been swift and severe among everyone other than the butter emails party. Senator Mark Kelly tweeted, "Notice to White House staff, there is a room in the building and secure systems where you are supposed to have these discussions. Signal ain't it. The recklessness put the lives of those pilots at risk. You got lucky. Time to reevaluate the way that you are doing things." But one person who was not only lax, but apparently completely ignorant about all of this was the President of the United States himself.
Mr. President, your reaction to the story in The Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
So tell me, which is worse? That Donald Trump isn't concerned that his staff is discussing war plans on Signal and are too stupid not to invite random people into their already unsecure group chat? Or is it the fact that Trump really had no clue what the fuck is going on in his own White House? And this is the administration that claimed that Joe Biden was too clueless to serve? What would Trump himself say if Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, and Anthony Blinken included the editor of the New York Post in a group chat on WhatsApp about their war plans? Do you think we'd ever hear the end of it? Have we stopped hearing about the end of Hillary Clinton's emails? And yet now, suddenly, it's okay when Republicans do it? Here's the deal. You can now see, based on their reaction right here, that it was never about the emails. In fact, they don't care about anything they claim to care about other than the political benefit of the attack itself. These people don't stand for anything other than the consolidation of their own power. But just for posterity, if you want to know how we should see Republicans reacting to this news, look no further than how Pete Hegseth himself reacted back in 2016.
The people we rely on to do dangerous and difficult things for us rely on one thing from us: that we will not reveal their identity and not be reckless with what the dangerous things they're doing for us. That's the national security implications of a private server that's unsecured. That's why we look at a guy like Snowden and say, he's not a hero, he's a traitor. He put lives at risk, and you can get people killed when you do that. Let me be clear, to quote the president. Hillary Clinton, if there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now. Correct. For what has been done. Because the assumption is in the intelligence community, if you are using unclassified means, there is the potential for and likelihood that foreign governments are targeting those accounts and gathering intelligence from them, which means that individual and the others associated with them have been passing around through unsecure networks information, sources, and methods of people on the ground, covers compromised in real time. Yes. This is a real deal, full-blown national security scandal.
Betrayed her country in doing so, supposedly for convenience, but actually so she could have a different set of standards and hide her conduct and the conduct of the Clinton Foundation, Benghazi, everything else, so she could stay away from and above the law. And it turns out foreign services want to know what our Secretary of State thinks. The technology that others can use once they've got into devices is to listen and see in real time. Who knows what they heard and what they have, and the kind of leverage that gives in negotiations or conversations when you know what our hand is and you can anticipate it or get in front of it, or you know our sources and methods, because we know aides to Hillary Clinton also removed markings so that they could send classified, sometimes secret, top secret information to her personal email, which our enemies were potentially reading in real time. That has consequences, including lives and reputation of this great country.
I'm not surprised that a military guy like yourself is fired up, because it's people like you who pay the price for this kind of
That's exactly right.
Extraordinary stuff.
And in case 2016 feels like too long ago, let's fast forward to 2023 when Hegseth discussed Biden's handling of classified documents.
Yeah, I mean, he is the president of the United States, which does create complications. But it also increases the urgency.
If the top man in the job was handled classified documents this flippantly for that long, why was that the case? Was it really that he didn't know? Because when you take something out of a skiff, if you're a senator, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
You had to sneak it out.
And you're moving it. You had to sneak it out. Or someone gave it to you with the wrong protocol, which you were complicit in. And then you don't even know how many you have, and you've clearly hidden them from the public. You're the president of the United States.
Or how about Marco Rubio, who's also on the Signal chat?
When I'm president of the United States, neither she nor any of these other people are going to be above the law, whether it's her or Eric Holder for what he did on Fast and Furious or any of these other folks. People are going to be held accountable if they broke the laws of this country. This president obviously is willing to protect his political cronies. But we're going to hold people accountable. Nobody is above the law, not even Hillary Clinton, even though she thinks she is.
John Radcliffe, also another member of the Signal chat.
Mishandling classified information is still a violation of the Espionage Act. It started with Hillary Clinton. It has continued without accountability.
Right.
People haven't paid a price for that, and that's one of the reasons Bill Barr and John Durham and folks need to really focus on that, because there does need to be accountability there.
Or how about Tulsi Gabbard, who tweeted, "Any unauthorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such." She tweeted that literally a week ago. Altogether, pretty tough words from members of this Signal chat who have some very, very intense feelings about mishandling of classified information. I wonder if they all still agree with their former selves, or if all that matters is being morally malleable to fit the moment. Something tells me that we all know the answer to that question. At this point, you would be hard-pressed to find even a single example of what Republicans pretended to stand for that they haven't immediately undermined with their own behavior or actions. The party of fiscal responsibility is right now blowing up the deficit to yet again pay for tax cuts for themselves. The party of family values has thrown in its lot with a serial predator. And in fact, Trump himself tried to make the literal attorney general an accused sex trafficker in Matt Gaetz. The party of the police has sat idly by while Trump released 1,600 insurrectionists, many of whom beat the shit out of cops. And now, the party of national security is going over war plans in random group chats with people they don't even know are in the chat watching along. These people, again, stand for nothing other than their own pursuit of power, and they're making it abundantly clear on a daily basis. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.